Weekend Update with Norm Macdonald.
Thank you. I'm Norm Macdonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight. Late this week, President Clinton and Russian President Boris Yeltsin met in Helsinki to discuss the sensitive topic of NATO expansion. For his part, Yeltsin stood firm, saying he must do what is right for Russia, while Clinton also stood firm, saying he must do what is right for China. On Thursday, in a stunning admission, the Liggett Group, makers of Chesterfield, Lark, and L&M cigarettes, acknowledged publicly that their cigarettes are addictive and do cause cancer. Hours later, the four other major tobacco makers, Reynolds, Philip Morris, Lorillard, and Brown and Williamson, issued a joint statement saying, quote, "Today's announcement comes as no surprise. Everyone knows Liggett cigarettes cause cancer." Also this week, a California newspaper revealed that O.J. Simpson was awarded custody of his children mainly because a court-ordered psychological test showed that he is a loving father. It should be noted, however, that the same test also showed that he was a loving husband. Following the surprise withdrawal of his nominee, Anthony Lake, President Clinton has chosen acting CIA Director George Tenet to head up the agency. Now all he needs is the approval of the House, the Senate, and this Chinese guy. In Washington this week, the Supreme Court is having arguments on whether or not pornography should be banned from the Internet. According to veteran court watchers, 8 justices are leaning toward a ban, with 1 against. Gee, I wonder which one would be against a ban on pornography. Let me see now. They wouldn't do that. Meanwhile, at the University of Nebraska, computer scientists have developed a version of the Internet that is up to 100 times faster than the current system. According to analysts, those using the new system to log on to America Online will now be disconnected in 3/1000th of a second. You ever get on the computer? Do you know anything about this? In Congress, members of the House Women's Caucus say prosecution of sex offenders must be the Army's top priority, despite concerns of racial insensitivity on the part of investigators, which would be the second priority. Then I guess the Army's third priority would be defending the nation. That would, that'd be third. Well, this coming Monday is Oscar night, and 3 films, The English Patient, Secrets and Lies, and Shine, are locked in a tight race in the category Best Picture There's Not a Chance in Hell I Will Ever See. No interest at all in seeing those. A person who suffers 2 sharp, powerful blows to the head within a short period of time can suffer brain damage or even die. This, according to a new study in the medical journal Duh. This week, a London tabloid published the first exclusive pictures of Michael Jackson's baby, secretly taken by a guest at the King of Pop's Neverland Ranch. Upon seeing the pictures, Michael said, "This is not my baby." Then quickly added, "I'm not saying he isn't hot. He's hot. It's just not my kid. I'm not saying he's a very sexy infant. It's just not mine. I would love to have sex with him. He's just not my child, is all I'm saying." This week, pilot Linda Finch marked the 60-year anniversary of Amelia Earhart's attempt to fly around the world by setting out on her own round-the-world flight. Finch took off Monday from the same Oakland, California airfield as Earhart and hopes to reach Europe by next Wednesday. By Sunday evening, if all goes well, she plans to have mysteriously disappeared forever. In music news, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has performed and recorded a 1-hour CD of his own jazz compositions for the flute. You know, Dr. Kevorkian, I've listened to your CD, and I've got some advice. Don't quit your day job, all right? You know, murdering old people? Stick with that. Stay away from the flute and stick with the murdering old people. This is my advice. A report by Assistant Treasury Secretary Jim Johnson shows that the arrest rate for church arsons is more than twice the national average for arsons in general. Note to self, start setting fire to something other than churches. Earlier today, the biggest auction ever of Beatles memorabilia took place in Tokyo. Among the one-of-a-kind items on the block were Paul McCartney's birth certificate, a white Mercedes-Benz owned by John Lennon, and rarest of all, a photo of George Harrison not looking haggard. Have you ever seen one when you think about it? And the British Sunday Times is reporting that Belgian doctors have accidentally cloned a human being. The human being? You guessed it, Frank Stallone. Well, Reader's Digest has released its 1997 list of the best and worst places to raise a family in the United States. The best place? Sheboygan, Wisconsin. While the worst place in America to raise a family? The Neverland Ranch. At the 17th floor. Good night, everybody.